Hey everybody, this is Alan Fine and I'm here with John Wagner, and we are here to talk about Victory Cruise Lines. It's that new all-inclusive small ship coastal cruise line on the Great Lakes and the Canadian coast, using what I consider a winning tried and true formula, perfected by John in a previous incarnation. And we're going to talk about that and more on Insider Travel Report. Victory 1 and 2 are back in the family.
Back in the family, yep. Going through renovations and everything else, getting certified, rebuilding engines. David Kelly is doing his magic with new carpet, new drapes, fixing wallpaper, china, the whole thing.
Travel Advisors, 190 guests, right?
Yes, 190 guests, 86 crew members.
And it's going to be on all 5 Great Lakes.
All 5 Great Lakes. Our most popular trip is Chicago to Toronto, Toronto to Chicago. And then we do 2 14-day trip, Chicago round trip, Lake Superior and back to Chicago. And, Alan, only cruise boat to dock at Navy Pier, I might add.
That's right.
9.2 million visitors every year see that boat. So
all inclusive with a first night stay.
First night stay at a very nice hotel right on the Chicago Riverwalk. So yeah,
That's what I was saying was the tried and true formula that you already tested and is very popular.
It's very popular. I mean, so, Alan, everybody says, well, why is it Chicago, Toronto, Toronto, Chicago, and why only 2 round trips? And I told everybody, when Claudette and I bought the boats, I said, guys, when you use your own money, you don't want to experiment. You need a home run right out of the box. It was tried and true. Our guests told us it was the most popular trip. And the fact that in a 10-day cruise, Alan, you get to see all 5 of the Great Lakes and hit major cities like Chicago, Mackinac Island, Sault Ste. Marie, Cleveland, Detroit, Niagara Falls, and Toronto. Home run.
But I know because you're involved, the service will be the same. The food will be very, very, very good.
Yep.
And the excursions will be immersive.
Yeah, so Alan, but in all fairness, I won't take any credit for that, because I will tell you it's David Kelly, and Sarah that do all the interiors. It's our chefs, that put together the unbelievable cuisine. It's Shelley Hartfield that's working on, all the shore excursions. And that was a big thing, is putting the band back together, because it wasn't just me.
Which we reported on.
Yes, it was all the people that really made it so great in the first place. And so the band's all back together. We're like the Eagles reunion tour. We're just not going to give up.
Right, but let's also give a shout out to Anglo-Eastern Leisure Management. Explain their involvement.
Yeah, so their involvement is we work with Dietmar and everything for a long time. And what we found is they have just great crew and through their bulk purchasing, but they give us a great price, but they really do an unbelievable job and hire professional crew that are professionally trained. They give extraordinary service. And so again, I go back to your tried and true, formula, and Dietmar and Anglo-Eastern was one of the pieces of that formula that made it so great.
Right. So again, for the Travel Advisor, this is that kind of trip where if you have a client that just wants like a a European cruise but doesn't want to go far, this is the cruise for them.
This is a cruise. I mean, the nice thing that we say is that, CLIA just did the research and they said cruise passengers are willing to drive up to about 4 hours for a departure. And so the fact that you can drive to Chicago, fly home from Toronto, not a long international flight, and still stay fairly close and be close to U.S. doctors, hospitals, and everything else. I mean, it's a tried and true formula.
So listen, before we sign off, we're here because we were sampling some of the foods that you will be having on the ship, which are locally sourced or local recipes. Let's just talk a little bit about that, and also the 3 restaurants.
Yeah, so the 3 different restaurants that we have, well, first of all, the food that was here, unbelievable, and the chefs here did a great job. But it's all local cuisine, that we look at. And so what we're trying to do is source, local fish like the pike and the muskie and the walleye, local vegetables, wines out of New York. And so to really, boost the local economy and do anything we can for those local economies to help. So, yeah, it's great.
And then I will vouch for the fact that John likes his coffee, and so there's always a gourmet coffee machine available 24/7. It doesn't get locked down at night like some other cruise lines. No. Cookies are always out, and the ice cream machine.
Yeah. So it was one of the crazy things. I mean, our guests came to us and, even when we started the boat in Alaska, the Ocean Victory, we didn't initially have a soft serve ice cream machine. And they go, oh my God, it's one of the things that you guys are known for. Right. You're known for your soft serve ice cream, your cookies, because we crumble the cookies up in the bowl and then we put the ice cream on top of it. Then we put the hot fudge on top of that for a midnight snack. And the lattes, I get to thank Gary Seabrook for that because you didn't used to be a big coffee drinker, and Gary Seabrook got me hooked on lattes. So now every single boat has a great latte machine where, as you said, 24 hours you can go get a nice latte, an espresso, a cappuccino. And all included, I might add. Yeah, we don't
absolutely.
Nickel and dime you. Yeah.
So off season, what's going to happen with the ships?
Yeah, so we don't know yet, Alan, is a short answer. And I say that in all honesty. So when we bought the boats initially 5 years ago, we used Eastern Seaboard and Mexico, but we didn't have a chance to perfect that. So now, when we first developed those itineraries, it was John Wagner and the navigation team saying, hey, this is what we really like and this is where the boat can go. But some of those weren't, the salespeople didn't sell them, like Mexico. I thought our Mexico itinerary was awesome because you got to go to 3 Mayan ruins. But when we went to our big tour and travel agents, they said, guests don't feel comfortable going to Mexico. So now we're working exact opposite. We're meeting with tour and travel agents and say, look, we're looking at these 4 itineraries. What can you sell? What do your guests want? And we'll deliver that instead. So we're working on that. But for 2025, we're not doing anything with the off season. We're just focused on the Great Lakes. But for 2026, we're looking at Eastern Seaboard, Mexico, Central America, South America. So, worlds unknown.
So I was talking to Claudette, your wife, earlier, and I said, he's going to start asking for more ships.
Well, so Alan,
is there a chance? I'll cut that if you want.
No.
Is there a chance that you'll be looking for more ships?
Well, I would love to deny that. I really would. But my history probably supports that more than not, because when we bought the American Queen, we really did say, look, we're just doing this. And it wasn't even to get in the cruise business. It was really to save the American Queen, an icon, largest paddle wheel steamboat built in the entire world. And as a mariner, I said, hey, this is an asset that really, needs to be saved. So we saved it. And then one thing led to another. MARAD,
look what happened.
I know. They called us about Empress of the North. And we bought that, as the American Empress. And Claudette was the godmother. And then, we bought a couple of casino boats. And it was the Duchess and the Countess. And then we bought the Victory 1 and the Victory 2. And that was the Ocean Victory. So I will say, though, Alan, when you look at our team, this team can accomplish a lot. And they can accomplish way more than 2 boats. Yes. So I'm not saying yes. Yeah. I'm not saying no.
Let's fill these boats. That's what we got to do.
Let's fill these boats. Let's be wildly successful, and then we can talk about other things.
Final question.
Yeah.
Godmothers.
Godmothers. I love them all.
No, but I'm assuming your family is going to be honored.
So I will tell you, so the nice thing is, Priscilla Presley was the godmother for the American Queen. And then Claudette was the godmother for the American Empress. Marissa was the godmother for the American Duchess. Angie was the godmother for the American Countess. And so
These are your children.
our children,
So do we know who the godmother will be for Victory 1?
we do. It'll be our daughter, Emily Coleman, the last of our 3 daughters that has a ship named after her. So she's excited about it. She's honored. I mean, David Kelly's going to start working on the photos, and we're going to make a big announcement.
She must be happy you're out of retirement.
Yeah, she is happy.
that you can give her a
in
ship.
Retirement. I can give her a ship. Yeah, and then the Victory 2, that's still a surprise. We'll announce that later. But yeah, Emily Coleman will be our godmother of the Victory 1.
We wish you a lot of luck. This is a story we enjoy following. And so thank you for speaking with us.
Well, thanks, Alan. I mean, it's always a treat to be interviewed by you. You always ask me great questions. And so, yeah, always proud to do that.
Thank you. And this is Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report.